Headline: Inflation edged up in December after rapid cooling most of 2023. Headline: U.S. inflation accelerates, tempering case for Fed rate cuts. Consumer Price Index advanced 3.4%, most in 3 months. Headline: Stocks drop as not great CPI whipsaws treasuries. Markets wrap. Fed's Mester says March is probably too early for a rate cut. And welcome back, everyone. I want to go over some inflation data. Always enjoy having you here. And let's just jump right in. So as you guys see, inflation ticked up in December. We talked about this in the last couple of videos that was the forecast. However, the difference is that it went up a little bit more than what people were thinking. Moreover, we can see here headline inflation, headline CPI, I should say, was up 3.4%, and then the core is 3.9. The key, which I thought was interesting, is motor vehicle insurance costs surged 20%, the most since 1976. So if you drive a car, you probably know this. Your insurance is really high. It's not just vehicle insurance. My understanding is home insurance is expensive as well. And I'm sure you guys are all well aware, health insurance is not cheap in the USA. This is your chart year over year. Essentially, inflation is probably peaked. I'll say probably because you never know in this world. But this was back here, right? And inflation has certainly been going down. We can all see that. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that prices are going down. It just means they're not accelerating at the same pace that they once were. Now, I want to show you this chart because I think this is a good chart to take a look at. Basically, what you have is you have the purple line here, so that's your hourly earnings, and then you have your sort of teal line, that is your weekly earnings, and you have the overall CPI. So if you look back in 2022, your inflation, right, prices of stuff, consumer price index were going up. Wages were increasing, but not at the same rate. So what they tell you in the news all the time, or the government likes to tell you, is say, hey guys, look how great, wages are finally surpassing inflation, right? You can see that right here. You can see it. But it doesn't necessarily mean, everything depends on your neck of the woods, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the wages or earnings of, workers have caught up to all of the price increases that have happened in the last a couple of years, or you can argue decades, right? So everything's depend on your particular situation, but I just want you to understand that prices have increased more than wages the last couple of years, and just recently that wage gains have kept on par with inflation. So hopefully this chart makes it more clear what we're talking about here. I know that you can spin it either way that you like, so I try to show you as much data as possible. This is an interesting chart. It shows year over year of where the price increases are. So again, as mentioned already, auto insurance is quite a lot. They say motor vehicle, same thing, auto insurance, car insurance. Transportation services are also up. And then the other big one is shelter. It was saying here shelter makes up like half of the cost. It says shelter costs continue to contribute over half. So it's not even half, over half of the overall increase of the cost of living. So these are the issue is like, you can't really not have a place to live. I mean, that's a major thing. Food is still expensive here. As you can see here, food went up. That's compared to last year. True story, here in Korea, peanut butter is like ridiculously expensive. I paid double what you guys pay in USA. And I like peanut butter. What can I say? Apples are really expensive as well, and I do like apples. Meat's still expensive for us, but it depends. Chicken's your cheapest. Beef is still pretty high. It's just... the daily living still is sticker shock all the time. We went out to eat at a lamb restaurant because I like lamb as well. And they raised, so it was for like one serving of the lamb. I think it used to be 12,000 won, so it's like $10. And then they raised it to like 15,000, so it's like now $12, something like that. But that's a pretty significant increase from 10 to 12. Yes, it's only $2. I get that, but percentage wise, it goes up, right? You guys understand these things. And this is not just, random things that we don't use. Like I eat, I have a place to live, right? These kind of stuff. Hospital services are also up, right? I've talked about this before, how medical costs are really expensive. Food away from home, so that would be your restaurant, stuff like that. I'll make a separate video on the restaurant. There was a couple interesting stories lately regarding restaurants, but yes, restaurant stuff is up. Electricity is up, so heating your home, these kind of things. Things that are down, this is year over year, which is interesting. So compared to last year, your airline fares are down. So I think this is largely due to there was, once the pandemic ended, or the lockdowns, that's a better way to say it, there was a big rush out to travel places. So I remember expenses for airline tickets were quite up. Oil is down. This is really volatile though. So if oil, this is compared to last year, but if oil were to ever spike back up, then suddenly people would be really feeling it. Household furnishing, so from the percentage here, that is actually up a little bit. Clothes are up, new vehicles are up. Other things that are down: gas, energy, used cars and trucks are down, and I guess physician services. So that's going to be a little bit different than hospital services. That's down a bit. If you want to look at month over month, so that's basically what's increased. And this is the December read. It is your motor vehicle insurance is up over month. Electricity is going back up again. Airline fares are also going back up. Energy, medical care, and hospital and used cars and trucks. So even the stuff that was down compared to last year is on their way back up. So, everything, again, I always say it depends on your neck of the woods. And I'd like to hear you guys' comments, though. Actually, it'd be interesting to share information on your auto insurance and just kind of what you're paying compared to last year or the last couple of years, etc. Moreover, whenever we talk about this stuff, I always like to include, other news that is related. Companies are firing. I see this here. This is coming out January 11th, 2024. Google cuts hundreds of jobs across engineering and hardware teams. Generally speaking, basically how it's been for, I don't know, last couple of decades is how Google's been a great place to work, right? You guys all know this. They pay well, they treat your employees well, etc. So, when one of the best companies out there is firing, it's not so great. Moreover, I don't talk about it every day on the channel, but I do read the news. The situation in the Middle East just seems to be getting worse. So, you just read headlines here. Red Sea crisis could jeopardize inflation fight as shipping costs spike globally. I get so irritated and frustrated. I could probably make a video on this stuff every day. I just don't. I'll just say I don't want to be involved in this stuff. I in high school it was the first Iraq war, and then we had to live through the second one. Then we had to live through the Afghanistan thing, and now we're fighting Israel in Israel. We're supporting Israel, right? And now we're fighting the Houthis, I guess, and now we're possibly fighting Iran as they just seized an oil tanker. These are the headlines. Moreover, I just want to point this out, guys. I really do read this stuff. I just don't mention it all the time. But the death toll in Gaza is now over 20,000. I take this stuff seriously, and unfortunately, though, this is something I want to point out. People all have different priorities, right? And for some people in our government, they think that Hunter Biden stuff is like the most important thing, and I follow the story off and on. The most recent, and the reason I mention this is because it's just not that important to me. The thing that I always find funny is kind of the rebuttal is, tell me which public office Hunter Biden holds. Please tell me. It's a joke, okay? If you don't understand the joke, you probably shouldn't be watching my channel anyway. But the point is that you have a group of people in the government that are like really concerned about this Hunter Biden thing, and I think it's just all a bread and circus stuff. The Republicans, they said, hey, come and testify privately. Biden says, Hunter Biden said, I'll do it publicly. And then now they're really angry. So I find that very strange. Like, if you want them to come and he says I'll do it publicly, just do it, but they don't want to. And then these kind of headlines don't surprise me. 118th Congress on track to become one of the least productive in U.S. history. Only 34 bills were passed last year. This is and the thing is that what I always say when we talk about this kind of stuff is when in doubt, don't bet against the U.S. defense industry, right? So, Congress may not be passing many bills, but, when in doubt, there's always money for fighting wars. So that's something that I mentioned, and this is sort of why I hope you guys understand why I tie this all together. Moreover, when I tell you guys about, the various kinds of people that are on social media platforms in the audience, I want to read some comments. This was recently on basically a video about Michigan football and cheating. And I want you to read some comments, and you guys get a sense of like the kind of people out there in the world and what their priorities are. So this is 16 hours ago from user NY4. You were born stupid, I think. So that's again to me. Poxy Bear 1 day ago says, foreign piece of crap, of dog crap, that is. I'm not just crap, I'm dog crap, I guess. Commenting on American college sports, F off foreigner. Moreover, another person saying, everyone cheats. don't act like you never do it. And if you have any doubt, here's another person, Joseph Cool. He says, best team by a mile, didn't cheat. Oh, and China never cheats. We should be more like China, right, Chris? China never steals or cheats, right, Chris? China good, USA bad. So if you don't think this stuff is racist, I mean, just read through the comments. For the record, I am Vietnamese. I live in Korea. I speak 4 languages, and I know people that went to Michigan. I have not been to Ann Arbor myself. I have a feeling the people who write this kind of stuff probably did not go to Michigan, nor have ever been to Ann Arbor. They just really like football a lot. I'm so mean. But I've had to deal with this stuff before, and I write about these kind of things in my book and how to stay positive and laugh it off, because people who, write mean comments on the internet, that kind of stuff, and, think sports is the most important thing in the whole world, they have a lot bigger problems than me commenting on said things. So that's all I have to say about that. And check out a copy of my book. Please do. I enjoy you guys coming on the channel every time, and I try my best to show you guys data. But I also want you to understand that there's a vast majority of the audience out there that doesn't understand anything that we talk about when we do these. And I try to make it really clear and not just make random stuff up. But the world that we live in, a lot of people do, and a lot of it's, it's a really complicated topic, but they're dealing with things in their lives that they feel like they're out of control. And so, their only outlet is watch people throw balls, and then they just call other people names, and that makes them feel good about their lives, but it doesn't improve your life. And that's sort of what I try to do on the channel is give you as many facts and data as possible, and be positive about things. Yes, it seems like the news can be bad all the time, but it doesn't have to be. And what I mean by that is, like, if you understand what's happening in the world and what's happening in your life and why things are happening, you're not like freaking out every day. The people who are negative all the time and freaking out and call other people names is because they don't understand and the world, and they feel like things are out of their control, and so that's their only outlet, is just to call other people names and blame other people. But you're not going to be like that. And so this is sort of why when you look at something like this, the data here, you're not like shocked. You're like, okay, I get it, right? Cars are too expensive right now. Housing is expensive, etc. Like you can see it right here, and it it doesn't make it necessarily happy things that cars are expensive, or car insurance, I should say. But you're not like lost in the void and just shaking your shaking your hands in your head at the wind. So I hope you understand my point in this stuff. So it's we if you follow my channel, like I told you guys, inflation is probably going to go up, and so like your mind should be prepared for that. But if you are completely oblivious to how things work, then you just get angry. And essentially, think of it this way: that when I think about the the kind of people that comment the way that they do, the best way to describe these kind of people is the toddler that gets really upset and they just cry and shake their hands and throw things, etc. Because that's all they can do. They don't have the vocabulary to express their feelings. They don't understand what's happening, and they just blame their parents or whoever, right? That's essentially the toddler mentality. And sadly, that's a large portion of the population, and it seems to be getting worse. And this is a long conversation we'll talk about in another video, but I do appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully we can navigate this world together and not be toddlers. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next video.